as he obviously cannot have his tanks both on the right hand side and on the left hand side simultaneously, and the assault and the escalate to battle phase is finally completed, and we can see some more pioneers uh, being arranged for, although not entirely necessary because you already had two, but he's after going to try. Oh man, look at this. Nice little officer. I'd like to see him try to spam one of the officer's abilities, even though he doesn't actually have all that many munitions and the naval of might actually getting taken out. It is the crew. Is he going to try to actually destroy the gun? It doesn't look like that. Another Tiger is actually engaging it. Is he going to be able to take out this M8? But the M8 is able to lay the mine. And man, the M8 goes down, but he accomplishes his duty by effectively laying the mine. Although I have to remind you guys that he already has a minesweeper, so it won't be all that difficult to just sweep that mine away and then recruiting the naval warfare, unless he didn't actually pay attention to it and just recruits it and effectively loses the recruiting unit and the gun itself. He is, however, trying to regain this ground on the right hand side. It is interesting to see how the US combination of forces is being able to pan out with only two riflemen. I would be imagining that the US player would be having far less capping ability, especially considering that the patch actually improves the Volksgrenadier's capping speed, but with those light vehicles it is able to just move around the map very much faster than any infantry, and is still able to capture, not at the same pace as riflemen obviously, as riflemen have the capturing rate of 1.5 whereas vehicles have of 1 only, but that doesn't actually matter when you have such a mobile unit which is also able to um, push off any units that are attempting to capture the player's points. Naval warfare is now firing but blindly, and they effectively pretty much miss everything. It would be nice to see him saving up that naval warfare and trying to either charging with some infantry and then shooting the naval warfare. Ooh, man, that was a fast little kill. Or even, wow, that's a bad miss for the Prussian. That's not acceptable at all. And then after scouting, it could even scout with his officer, which actually has a ton of health, and then shooting with the naval warfare from a fairly close range while technically with his own tanks, but he's not trying to do so. Now a big engagement coming about with these tanks. Who's going to be able to come on top of it? Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be close. Blitzkrieg ability being used. One Stug almost getting taken out. The Pershing is already down to half health. And another Sherman taking some very serious casualties. The Wehrmacht player now loses two Stugs at once. The Tiger tank is, however, still at full health, so it is going to be able to throw these Shermans with auto repair on. And you have to feel that even though our Wehrmacht player did manage to keep himself in the game for just a few more seconds, it did lose out from the engagement as he obviously lost two Stugs, whereas the American player didn't actually lose any units. He just took some damage and then popped up field repairs and treated the most damaged units, and he effectively managed to lose any of the 3 and now 4 engaging units. So no longer a triple flat as before. The triple flat is not all that hard to say, so I'll just go. You can see the AT gun still doing damage on the Tiger, but it's still not using AP rounds. Perhaps he has forgotten of that ability. However, Never going off, so he might actually be able to take out the AT gun, which is already at very low health. Tiger, however, forced retreat. Is the AT gun going to be taken out? Not entirely sure what I should be looking at. AT gun getting taken out, and the rifle might actually be able to stick it, but damage already, so he doesn't have to stick it. The Sherman going for the flank. Stug, however, still firing, and the Tiger goes down. And that is going to be a very significant casualty for PonTi, which is now not floating any manpower whatsoever, so he cannot afford to call in another armored assault force, even though it is 100 manpower cheaper. It still is able to take out Sherman finally, but the Pershing is definitely going to be able to take out the Stug, which is already at 25% health. Now with main gun destroyed, the Pershing is still out of health, and frankly, Stug is definitely no threat whatsoever to Pershing. I'm not quite sure why he was trying to retreat it, but he's still is able to destroy it nonetheless. And wow, just like that, the game ends with no GG whatsoever to speak of. No rage quit either, so we can actually call it either one of this. um, previous ways of ending a game. So anyway, that is the first game between these two players for you guys. A fairly unusual game with a lot of armor on the field. It kind of brings us back to the good old days of 1.7 and 1.6, which is always nice to remind us of, because frankly, I kind of miss those times. And well, that is going to be all for today, guys. Thank you for um, watching my replay shotcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions whatsoever, please don't be shy and let me know of it. Please do subscribe and stay tuned for more replays. Lieutenant Ricardo signing out.